Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to dive into movement mechanics in Deadlock. Mastering movement is very key to survival or chasing down enemies in this game. I'm going to start with the very basics. This is meant for beginners, assuming you have not played Deadlock or are just getting started on Deadlock. And by the end, I'm going to cover some more advanced movement techniques that most people still don't know or don't really use in games very often. I will make a part 2 focusing only on very advanced movement techs that pro and very high MMR players use to move around the map. But for this one, we're going to stick to the basics. Hey, quick reminder, if you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing. I'm aiming for 150 subs by the end of November, and every bit helps. Now enjoy the video. First up, let's break down the different types of movement in Deadlock. The first thing that's worth mentioning is the difference between walking and sprinting. Each hero has different speeds for walking or sprinting. Walking is the most basic form of movement. Sprinting happens automatically when you have not fired your weapon for a second and have not taken any damage for 5 seconds. As soon as both of these requirements are met, you are automatically in sprinting mode. There's not a keybind for sprinting in Deadlock. Looking at the hero stats, we can see there are 3 different stats relating to movement. We have movement speed, sprint speed, and stamina. Movement speed is your base speed when you're not sprinting. Sprint speed is the amount added to your movement speed when you enter a sprinting state. Stamina is the resource used to perform special movement actions, which we're going to dive deeper in a second. It's very important to pay attention to the difference between movement speed and sprint speed because a lot of items in game affect just one or the other. Let's quickly cover everything that you can do without any stamina usage and how they affect you. Crouching, you can walk quieter, good for sneaking around since footsteps on this game are so loud. It allows you to do a sneaky play and catch him off guard or even potentially hide from the enemy. However, if you crouch spam, it's going to slow you down quite a bit. It can be useful, but usually it's not worth it since you're basically just slowing yourself. Jumping on and off the ziplines can give you free movement and it's much faster than walking or sprinting. Doesn't require any stamina. Vaulting up objects by holding space allows you to climb up short objects without using any stamina. Sliding, which can be done anytime your movement is above 10 movement speed or if you're sliding on top of a ramp. When you dash, your movement will always be above 10 movement speed, which allows you to slide without using extra stamina at the end of your dash. Now, let's talk about special movement actions, also known as really anything that takes stamina to perform. First, let's take a look at your crosshair. You can see the remaining stamina with the white bars next to the center of your screen. With stamina, you can perform a dash, a double jump, or an air dash. It's worth mentioning the dash can be done in any direction as well as the air dash, and this includes downward. We want to focus on how to be efficient with our stamina, so we don't just spam dashes and a left slow walking to run or to chase down. This will get you killed and allow free kills to just walk away if they're more effective than you are with their stamina. The first thing I suggest to any new player that's trying to get better at their movement is to practice sliding out of their dashes and sliding on ramps. This will allow you to get some extra distance with the same amount of stamina. Plus, it'll give you more time for your stamina to recover between your dashes. Another thing you can add on top of this is being smart with the environment and using the environment to your advantage. As you learn the map more, you'll understand places that you can dash and then slide onto a ramp and get a second boost and cover even more distance with a single stamina usage. The second thing you should practice is ending your dash with a jump. This is called a dash jump. This special move does require 2 stamina and it will cover about the same distance as 2 dashes. However, the advantage of using the dash jump over just using 2 dashes is that it's a lot quicker and you won't have a moment where you pause between the dashes. Also, you can start shooting during the jump portion of the action, rather than waiting till you finish the second dash. Something that is worth mentioning that makes this movement particularly powerful is the item called Kinetic Dash. The passive on the item says, your next dash jump does not cost an extra stamina, and plus you still get the buff for performing the dash jump. This is pretty significant because it allows you to perform a dash jump with only 1 stamina on a very short cooldown, effectively giving you an extra stamina to use. Plus, you can still slide at the end of the jump since your movement is above 10 movement speed. The next thing let's cover is Ziplines. The first thing I want to mention about ziplines is that you can jump on and off without using any stamina, and this is the same as touching the ground as far as resetting your air dashes and your double jumps. Using a zipline will always be faster than trying to run somewhere, unless you have some kind of ability that increases your speed. I want to mention the zipline boost cooldown. It will significantly boost your speed, and a lot of people don't realize that when you use this ability, you actually gain a buff for 30 seconds. It does not matter if you jump on and off the zipline or even swap to another color on the zipline and run down a different lane, you will still have the buff active if it's within the 30 seconds. This allows you to zip back and switch lanes and zip down another lane really quick. It is important to know that there are two ways to exit a zipline. You could jump off or you can crouch off. If you crouch off instead of jumping off, you will not have any air resistance slowing your movement for a few seconds. This allows you to utilize a dash immediately and maintain maximum dash speed until you start hitting air resistance. During this time, you can use abilities in the air and keep your momentum, or fly onto a building and jump off and navigate around the map very quickly. That pretty much covers the basics. That was the main thing I wanted to focus on for this guide. I will make a more advanced guide covering a bunch of different movement tech that you can use to climb buildings or travel between lanes or do some pretty sneaky stuff. You need to start by understanding the basics and getting good at managing your stamina. Soon all of these different movement techniques will become habit and you won't even have to think to perform any of them. If this video was helpful at all, consider dropping a like or subscribing for more Deadlock content. If you feel like this was too basic for your skill level, check out my more advanced movement guide. Thanks for watching. Well, see ya.